Hello, I'm Fantastic and Fantastic, and today I'm going to be talking about the new 10 Magic Stones Super Godfest that has just gone live in North America. So, we're continuing the trend of not actually naming our Super Godfest, just calling them 10 Magic Stones Super Godfest. And this has become a regular thing, and what we can expect from Super Godfest is a 33% chance of acquiring any Godfest exclusive. So Godfest exclusives play a tremendous role in our pad box development because the 7 stars are often tremendously powerful cards on their own. They often can be used as subs, leaders, or powerful weapons, and they obviously can be utilized as trade fodder for certain events. On the flip side, the 6-star Godfest exclusives tend to be less potent by comparison, but they still can play a powerful role. There are still several 6 stars that are meaningful to own, and again, they can be utilized as trade fodder. For instance, Christmas Gremory, who's become one of the more staple mono fire subs, which was available during Christmas time, required 4 6-star Godfest exclusives. So rolling these 6 stars can be utilized towards trade fodder if you can't find a value for them. And the main reason why it's beneficial is because duplicates are fine. If you have 10 Norzas, that's perfectly fine because they can be utilized as trade fodder. So it's not going to be a bad thing to keep rolling in Super Godfest. With that being said, this is going to be essentially the lowest rolling rates for a Super Godfest. I've counted all up. There are 24 good cards. When I say good, I mean either Godfest exclusive, there are 22 of them, and Samurai 3. There are 2 Samurai 3s featured, and Samurai 3s are basically just as good as a Godfest exclusive because they have amazing weapon assist. 80% resist to blind, poison, or jammer, along with a single skill boost, plus an incredibly valuable active skill if you have the blue one. But at the same time, this is as bad as it's going to really get. 1 out of 3 chance for Godfest exclusives, and then 3% chance for Samurai 3, so 36% chance for something happy and meaningful. But at the same time, every Super Godfest is going to basically be this baseline value. This has become like the new norm. And what makes an event better is having either higher rolling rates for those featured cards, sprinkling in seasonals or other rare cards that you can't acquire without their, it's difficult to acquire them. So for instance, I acquired most of my beach cards through seasonal Super Godfest in the past. So who would want to roll this event? I'd say only players who are either truly starved for cards, like you just started playing. That's probably the most likely scenarios. Like you just started playing, or maybe you've just come back to the game after a long break. It can be a way to help bolster your monster box because even the Pantheon cards that you could potentially roll at the bottom, they still can possibly fill in holes in your monster box, especially if you have very little to begin with. But with that being said, Super Godfest come back on a regular basis. There's no true need or rush to roll, and especially one that's as vanilla or generic as it's going to get. On the flip side, the Monster Hunter collab, which is going on right now, probably will have much better value for a more shallow monster box compared to rolling in a Super Godfest, because I'm going under the presumption that you have very few options for weapon assists to provide blind, resist, cloud, poison, etc. So rolling in Monster Hunter collab gives you the chance of acquiring those resist cards, because the 5-star rarity, they do provide potentially 60% coverage against blind, poison, or jammer. And if you have nothing to begin with, this can definitely be a meaningful place. And again, duplicates obviously at the bottom rarity of Monster Hunter are less desirable, but if you've never rolled in the past, rolling say 5 to 10 times should hopefully not give too many duplicates, and will probably give you a much more well-rounded monster box compared to rolling in Super Godfest. So even if you are a newer player, I still feel like this is a very skippable event. I would roll in Monster Hunter more if I was a newer player, but if you're someone with a more well-developed monster box, rolling in either one of those events is probably not going to be the best, because duplicates at the bottom rarity in Monster Hunter are not necessary, and again, this is a generic Super Godfest. You can be patient, and in 2 weeks time frame or so, another one will roll around, and it will be either just as bad or average as this one, or better. So, with that being said, hopefully you all have a fantastic day. I wish you all the best luck in your own pad adventures. Don't necessarily roll in this Super Godfest, and happy puzzling.